First thing we're going to look at is the Skylotec neon harness, the Ignite range, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab one of these. It looks a fabulous piece of kit, mate. I like the colours on it, but you know I'm not the technical person here. Is there a reason for the colouring on it?
No, the colours on it colour code lots of different parts to the harness. So on our full arrest points, they're always colour coded in orange, and if we turn it round, then we'll see the front full arrest attachment point as well, your front sternal point. On our lower or ventral point, we have the grey for work positioning. So this would be a sit harness position, EN 813. And then on the side Ds for work positioning 358, these are also colour coded in grey. We have a orange shoulder pad, which will show you the left-hand side of the harness. Black shoulder pad will show us the right. We have an orange pinstripe on the top half of the harness. And then on the leg loops and the lower, we've got a grey pinstripe. So if the harness was in a mess on the floor, we can immediately grab it, orange, up, left, get the harness the right way round. If it's twisted and we're looking at the inside of the webbing, there's no grey pinstripe to it. And again, on the legs, on the inside of the webbing, there's no grey pinstripe. We've got the main two stripes for the bottom half of the harness, but on the outside, you see we always have a set of pinstripes. So if your webbing is twisted, so when you're doing your buddy checks, you can always quickly see whether you've got a twist in it, whether they've got the harness on the right way round, upside down.
Fantastic. So it's not just a pretty looking piece of kit, it actually has a function to that colour coding as well, which I didn't know about before Bob told me today. What I noticed on the harness, which I really liked on the thigh straps, were the gear loops. It seems like a great position for them. Can you talk us through that? For
our harness, we've got a lot of gear loops. We have the label, so we've got safe working loads for all of the gear loops. The gear loops on the leg are nice and easy to reach, especially when you're sat on the harness. If you're sat on the ropes and you're carrying a lot of equipment, you might not be as mobile as normal. So having to twist round or fumble for things at the back, or if you need to park something quickly, if you're in that sitting position, especially with feet up against the wall or the rock, just straight into the back of the leg is nice and easy to clip. So you can store tools, store equipment very quickly, get them on and off as you need.
Thank you. Bob, I ask everybody about their kit. What's its average lifespan on a piece of kit like this?
It's always going to depend on how much people use it. In a very hard environment, it's not going to last as long. From manufacture, we have 2 years of shelf life. So for resellers and for people who buy large amounts of stock and keep it in their storeroom, they can have 2 years of storage. From the date of first use for soft goods, it's 10 years. And that's going to depend, as we said, on usage. So the end user needs to do a risk assessment on, are they using it in very harsh environments? So if you were doing quarry work, mining, geotechnical, painting work, I'd expect it to last a lot less. If you were just doing inspection, maintenance, building FM type work, then I'd expect you to get a lot longer out of it.
And to maximise its life, have you got any tips for looking after this piece of PPE?
Washing the kit is always a good one.
Right.
Doesn't get done very often, and it'll depend on what chemicals or dirt you're getting on your harness. But washing the product and drying it properly and keeping it stored correctly will make the equipment last longer. It's nicer to use, it adjusts better, the webbing moves through the buckles better. You wash it in hand temperature water with soaps which are neutral pH. Basically, if you can get it on your skin, then you can get it on your harness. If it's got high pH, high chemicals, then we don't want to use it. We don't want very hot washes. We don't want to force dry it, so no putting it over a heater, no putting it in direct sunlight. It should be well ventilated, cool, and out of direct sunlight and away from any contaminants. Don't store it where you store your fuel for the two-stroke.
So some top tips there from Bob about how to take care of your kit and maximise its life. But Bob, what would we use this brilliant bit of kit for? And is there any other features you want to go through?
So on this harness, the neon has a chest descender on it, so it's obviously aimed at that rope access market. So whether you're at IRATA, FISAT, SPRAT, soft, great rope access harness, work positioning, rope access, use it in telecoms, geo work, FM, hanging banners, whatever you need. Putting cable trays and lightning conductors down buildings, all aspects of rope access. There are a ton more features that go with the harness. We've got parking points, so if you're working with your full arrest lanyards, you've got parking points on the shoulders which aren't load bearing, so they'll pull out. Obviously, if you use a Skylotec lanyard, then we've eliminated that hazard as well. Down on the waist, we've got 2 loops. So if you're using work position seats, you can clip the seat to the side, keeping your D free. So there's lots of room for your cow's tails, your descenders, short links, whatever you may be using on there. On our buckles, we have unique buckles which have an extra bar. They're designed not to slip and creep, so you won't be adjusting your buckles all day long. And the same with the stainless steel Octalock buckle. Great for resistance, so less chance of rust. And again, a sprung loaded keeper, so they don't creep. You're not going to be readjusting your buckles all day long. Even the webbing is a special webbing. The webbing's woven with a ridge to it like a corrugation. So when the webbing sits down inside the buckle, again, it prevents that creep and movement during the day.
It's time, friends, for us to hand this Skylotec Ignite neon harness to our MD.
Thanks for that, Matt. Because I haven't actually put this harness on in anger in any way, I thought I'd go and chat to somebody that has. So Ian's one of the senior instructors here at REAX, and he's been using the harness for 18 months.
Yep,
or so.
18 months, yeah.
So I thought I'd ask you how you found the harness.
Yeah, it's really good in general. It's really comfortable. It's quite well made. There's quite a lot of things that I like on this. One of the things I like is the attachment for a podium seat. It keeps this ventral attachment uncluttered. Other things I like are the side Ds that fold back. Handy, keeps it out of the way, stops you getting caught on things like that. The other thing as well, which people may comment on that it doesn't look quite right, is the chest descender.
Yeah, it looks kind of off to one side, doesn't it?
But actually, it works really well. I think it works particularly well because as the rope path goes through, it avoids this D-ring here.
Yeah.
So it does work particularly well.
Great.
Things that maybe I'm not over impressed about is that particularly the webbing, this fold back on the stitching isn't really big enough. And when you extend it to take the harness off, putting it back on the second time, it's awkward to get the webbing back through.
Especially if you're wearing gloves or something.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
outside.
it's really difficult.
There's not much to grab there, really, is there?
No. But on the whole, yeah, it's really good. Plenty gear loops, like I say, it seems really well made, and yeah, I'm really happy with it.
And you've used it across multiple different types of
Yeah,
courses.
we've used it for work at height, rope access work, even confined space work. And like I say, it's performed really well for everything we've done. So yeah, really impressed with it.
Great. And most importantly, would you buy one?
Yeah, I certainly would. Yeah.
Fab. Thank you very much, and back to you guys.
So there you have it. That's Keith's opinion about the Skylotec Ignite neon harness.